The final death toll from the Grenfell Tower fire is 71, including a stillborn baby, Scotland Yard said today. Police said remains from all those killed on June 14 had been recovered and identified after a painstaking process involving hundreds of police and forensic experts. 70 people died in the fire, with the final victim being baby Logan Gomes. His parents Marcio and Andreia escaped, but their baby was delivered stillborn while his mother lay unconscious in hospital. Tower ablaze on the night of June 14. Wilhelm Baker, Mr. Gomes, 38, said, "My wife gave birth that night while she was in an induced coma, so she didn't know at the time. At 11:03 in the evening my baby was born. I was holding him. He looked peaceful, like a baby that was just sleeping. I wanted to be there with him, but he had already died." Hero Marcio Gomes with his family GoFundMe. The death toll is less than originally feared, with early estimates of over 100. In total, police believe 293 people were inside the tower when the fire started, with 223 surviving. Met Commander Stuart Cundy, who is leading the police response, said, "The human cost and terrible reality of what took place at Grenfell Tower affects so many people. Our search operation and ongoing investigation is about those people. My thoughts and those of all my colleagues in the Met Police are with all those who lost their loved ones, those who survived, the local community and all those who live with this tragedy every day." Salvage crews work on the burnt tower. AP Mr. Cundy said police had undertaken a meticulous search, recovery and identification operation with help from forensic anthropologists, archaeologists and odontologists. Specialist officers carried out a forensic fingertip search of every flat and communal area, examining 15.5 tons of debris on each floor. Mr. Cundy said, "When I went into the tower for the first time 4 days after the fire and saw the devastation, I thought that we were never going to be able to recover everyone. Specialist teams including experts and scientists and the mortuary have pushed the boundaries of what was scientifically possible to identify people." Water is sprayed on Grenfell Tower in West London after a fire engulfed the 24-story building. Fire service personnel inside Grenfell Tower in West London. A view inside the Grenfell Tower in West London after a fire engulfed the 24-story building. Sniffer dogs were sent inside the tower today. Fire service personnel inside Grenfell Tower in West London after a fire engulfed the 24-story building. Part of the scorched facade of the Grenfell Tower in London as firefighting continued to damp down the deadly fire. Grenfell Tower in West London after a fire engulfed the 24-story building. A view inside the Grenfell Tower in West London after a fire engulfed the 24-story building. He said police were confident that they had found and identified everyone who died and recovered as much of their remains as possible. Some remains were difficult to identify because many victims had huddled together on upper floors. Some bones recovered were just 5 millimeters long. The operation, assisted by advisors who investigated the 9/11 attacks, included 200 people in the tower. There were a number of attempts at fraud in this month. Serial fraudster NhU Win, 52, admitted 2 counts of fraud after claiming his wife and son died in the fire to pocket £12,500 for victims. Police are investigating 8 alleged fraud cases. Mr. Cundy said police were continuing a forensic examination of the tower in a criminal investigation. In September, Scotland Yard said the inquiry may consider individual and corporate manslaughter charges. A public inquiry, led by retired Judge Sir Martin Morbick, is examining the night of the fire, how and why the block was wrapped in flammable cladding and insulation, and the responses of Kensington and Chelsea Council and central government. Procedural hearings will take place on December 11 and 12. The final inquests are due to be opened and adjourned on November 22.